Now, on that note, I'm going to talk about, this is a little bit of a house cleaning segment. There are a lot of really annoying people that have been sending me messages and saying really stupid fucking things about me in regards to my quote-unquote support for Ukraine. I will always, 100% of the time, and if this offends you, then you can fuck off. I will always, 100% of the time, support people's right to self-defense. I support people's right to self-defense when they are protesting against police brutality in the United States of America. I support people's right to self-defense if neo-Nazis are trying to attack a group of people. And let's, again, situations like what happened in Portland in 2020, where neo-Nazis were running around the town trying to just attack random minorities. A couple of them ended up getting shot. One of them ended up getting killed. I support people's right to self-defense, especially when the enemy is aligned with fascism, is aligned with right-wingers. Anyone who's trying to both sides Ukraine and Russia's war is a fucking moron because they don't understand power dynamics. It's like the same kind of people that say, oh, well, Hamas is bad, so therefore Palestine should be wiped off the map. What? Well, I don't support Palestine or Israel. Huh? Like, do you understand how fucking power works? Do you have, even a kindergarten, level understanding? Have you ever been bullied in school? People, again, in school, if you are a bigger person, you can bully people. If you're stronger, you can bully people, and you have more power over them because you are larger and stronger. And a lot of times, again, that's like saying someone, bullies another kid, right? And let's say that kid's kind of weird. Let's say that kid's, kind of a freak, whatever. But then they punch the bully back. And then you go in and go, but both sides. Again, power dynamics are important to fucking understand. I've gotten a lot of really annoying fucking messages from people that, proclaim to be, fans of mine sometimes, that say that I have, unconditional support for Ukrainian neo-Nazis. Go fuck yourself for promoting that stupid fucking garbage. Now, once again, I want to say, the Azov battalion needs to be dismantled. Now, according to Russian military, they have completely dismantled the Azov battalion. According to them, they have completely destroyed central leadership of the Azov battalion in Mariupol. And again, so it's possible that neo-Nazis are still existing. It's possible that remnants of the Azov battalion are somewhere in the Ukrainian fight. That's possible, but according to Russia, they've destroyed the neo-Nazis. According to, again, also sourced by Ukrainian intelligence, that the Azov battalion has been destroyed heavily in Mariupol. So again, anyone who's trying to say that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is about fucking goddamn denazification, please go fuck yourself. Anyone who tries to say that people defending their right to exist is, oh, you're supporting nation states. You don't, what the fuck is wrong with you fucking people? In the same way that when people say free Palestine, they're not supporting fucking, oh, let's say a terrorist goes and kills 15 Israeli kids. Yes, that should be condemned. Yes, that's not the right way to go about things. That doesn't mean that all people protesting for a free Palestine are bad. It doesn't mean that they're to blame by default. And anyone who's trying to promote this fucking garbage really needs to get their head out of their ass. Not everything is a fucking binary good or evil. Sometimes there's a fucking gray area. Sometimes the world isn't as good as we want it to be. Yes, Ukraine as a nation state is not perfect. Neither is any nation state. No nation state is perfect. The United States of America during the 2020 George Floyd uprising deployed neo-Nazis to combat black protesters. In D.C., for example, there were various reports of the National Guard in the United States of America, people, again, posting on Telegram, on 8chan. There was documents that, found out that these people's usernames and their IDs and stuff, and they found out that there were several members of the United States National Guard that when they were being deployed to Washington, D.C. and other areas like Ohio, I believe it was Cincinnati, I want to say, other areas, again, Minneapolis, for example, they were documented while they were in the trucks going to occupy cities in America. They were posting on 8chan and Telegram channels saying, maybe now I'll finally get to kill the blacks. That's what they were saying, posting Nazi insignias. Does that mean we should go into the United States and bomb orphanages? Seriously, anyone who's trying to say that, oh, well, all nation states are bad, so fuck them, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. If Russia had a specific special military operation, they went in and they sniped and assassinated every neo-Nazi in Ukraine and that's it, and they did nothing else, maybe we could have a different conversation. Maybe there would be a different point to be had. That's not what fucking happened, okay? That's not what fucking happened. And you know what? as Courtney says in the chat, I'm more concerned with domestic Nazis, not the ones abroad. I agree. I am infinitely more concerned with the Nazis in the United fucking States of America. We have one party. We have two parties in this country. One party is an open fascist fucking terrorist organization. One party that has like 49% government control. That's really close to that's really close to half. That's really close to a majority. Are literally open neo-Nazis that tried to overthrow the United States of America's government like less than 2 years ago. So anyone who's trying to say, oh, Andrea supports Ukrainian self-defense, that must mean she's a Nazi. Go fuck yourself, you pea-brained fucking moron. Yes, the Ukrainian government has made mistakes. Yes, I think it's a bad idea to forcefully conscript people in Ukraine, as well as it's a bad idea to forcefully conscript people in Russia or in the United States in cases like Vietnam. I think forced conscription to go fight in war is bad. I think that that's bad. And I disagree with the fact that Ukraine has done that. I think that that is a bad idea. That being said, that does not mean that Russia's fucking invasion is okay. It does not mean that both sides, both sides have made mistakes. Both sides, man, both sides. You're a fucking moron. And if you want to say you support Ukrainian rights to self-defense, that doesn't mean you support every fucking bad decision the government's ever done. Again, I support the United States citizens' rights to self-defense against police brutality in this country. That doesn't mean I support everything the U.S. has ever done. We're allowed to have a fucking nuanced conversation. Anyone who wants to turn any conversation into a binary, this is good or this is evil, you're a Nazi or you're a fucking whatever, you're a fucking idiot, you're a child, and you need to get off the fucking internet and touch fucking grass. Because that's not the way the fucking real world works. So again, I just wanted to say I'm very upset by this fucking shit. I've gotten some very, very annoying fucking messages from people claiming that, like, I'm very concerned by Andrea's pro-Nazi stance in Ukraine. I've never been pro-Nazi, you stupid fucking moron. You're making shit up for attention. You're a loser. You've got a pea-brained fucking IQ, and you need to go outside, maybe talk to some Ukrainians. Maybe, again, yes, it is a problem that Ukrainians in some areas have been forced to fight in this war. If you want to flee, you should have the right to flee. That's my opinion. The Ukraine, government having forced conscription, bad. It is bad. That does not mean that orphanages should be banned. It does not mean, I don't have an opinion on the dead kids, the rape victims that were 5 years old, man. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, again, there's some Nazis in Iraq, so the U.S. invasion of Iraq, I don't know, man. Iraq kind of sucked, man. Like, Saddam Hussein, bro. He's kind of bad, so, I don't know, man. I'm not pro-war, I'm not anti-war. It's just, I don't know, man. Go fucking fuck yourself. So I just want to say, if there's anyone still in my audience that believes this fucking shit, or that says that if you try to support Ukrainians' rights to self-defense, that makes you a fucking Nazi, you're a fucking moron, and I want you to unsubscribe from my fucking channel. I want you to leave all of my fucking Discord servers. I want you to unfollow me on every social media network because you are too dumb to be a part of my community. Go fuck yourself. So that's just a PSA, little house cleaning for some dumb motherfuckers that have been sending me things. And again, this has been happening over the course of weeks. This is not in response to, anyone in particular. I've gotten a lot of these comments, and they're just really fucking annoying. They're just really annoying. Like, the idea that a nuanced conversation is impossible. You're either pro-Nazi or anti-Nazi. Like, what the fuck? That's not how the world works. That's not how the fucking world works. Green progress in the chat. Lefties that mention Azov should mention the counter to that. The anarchist fighting forces that are doing good. Resistance Committee and the Black Flag in Ukraine as well. That's exactly correct. There are significant amounts of left-wing organizations in Ukraine and in Europe that have gone to fight for Ukraine. Now, again, I understand the argument that Ukraine should just surrender to prevent mass death. But that hinges on the idea that Russia would just take over Ukraine and not institute its significant oppressive policies. Again, there are tens of thousands, potentially even hundreds of thousands, right, of Russian protesters that have been sent to jail and disappeared over their anti-war stance in Russia. So, again, the idea that, let's just let Russia take over Ukraine to prevent the deaths, as if Russia wouldn't then oppose significant fucking oppressive regimes and stuff like, again, what's going on in Crimea, for example, right? It's just fantasy land. It's fantasy land. It's fucking fantasy. Yes, war is bad. Yes, we need to condemn war. But the idea that trying to both sides a conflict, like again, would you both sides the conflict in Afghanistan? Oh, the Taliban's kind of bad, so therefore, you know what? I don't really care if the US goes in and tries to murder a million civilians. And again, there are going to be millions of fucking people that starve to fucking death as a result of this crisis. This is not just a situation where, it's Ukraine and Russia and both countries suck. The whole world is going to be having to deal with a fucking food shortage because of this shit. This is not, Ukraine Nazis versus Russian Nazis. I'm just gonna stay out of it, bruh. Shut the fuck up. I'm seriously, I cannot believe that there are people in my audience that are this fucking annoying. And so, again, yes, I'm upset about this. Yes, I'm triggered. And I want to do some house cleaning. Because I have a problem with stupid motherfuckers in my audience. And I have no problem with calling out my audience when they say stupid fucking things. And yes, now not everyone in my chat or in my community or people that follow me have said these stupid fucking things. It's a small percentage. But again, in the same way that I think that the Ukrainian National Guard should expel the neo-Nazis, I want to expel the dumb motherfuckers in my chat. And in my community and people that watch my videos. Now, you're allowed to hate watch, that's fine. But fuck, I've gotten some really fucking stupid comments. So, I'm sorry. There are more fucking problems in the world than the Ukrainian Azov Battalion. Sorry. I'm sorry that the Ukrainian Azov Battalion is not the most important problem in all of humanity and Earth. Yes, I would prefer if they were dismantled. I would prefer if they never existed to begin with. But that's not the world we live in. And anyone trying to say that I'm like, Andrea is mysteriously pro-Nazi all of a sudden. Go fuck yourself. Because you are so if you think I'm pro-Nazi in any capacity, you're a fucking moron. You are so easily susceptible to propaganda that, like, my God, the fact that you can even brush your teeth is ridiculous to me. I refuse to believe that you're capable of even brushing your fucking teeth. Or tying your fucking shoes. This fucking stupid, fuckface social media attitude where everyone is good or everyone is evil is destructive, it's dumb, it's unintelligent, it's unnuanced, and it's fake. It's not real. The world cannot be divided into two categories. In the same way that when fucking transphobic fucking bigots try to talk about how there's only men and only women, there's not only good and only evil. The world is gray, okay? Binaries are fucking stupid. Trying to put everyone into a pro-Nazi or anti-Nazi camp when they, like, again, it's just fucking dumb. And I'm sick of it. Yes, I'm triggered, and I'm fine with being triggered. I don't mind publishing my triggered meltdown. But again, anyone who's going to try to fucking cry and whine about how me supporting self-defense for Ukrainian civilians is somehow pro-Nazi, you're a fucking idiot. Now again, you can disagree. You can have your own opinion. If your opinion is that Ukraine should just surrender because you think that if Russia took over Ukraine, that somehow that would result in less death and less suffering on a longer scale of time, okay. That's at least an opinion, but the idea that having that opinion makes anyone else who disagrees with you a Nazi is a fucking moron. And also, again, we can agree to disagree. I think that that's a bad deal. There's no evidence that that would actually lead to less death or less suffering. Putin is a fucking monster. Look at what he's doing in his own fucking country. There's no evidence for that, but I'm down to have that discussion. But if that's your opinion and you're going to say that I'm weirdly pro-Nazi, I'm sorry, go fuck yourself. So, I think that's everything I have to say on Ukraine and the Azov Battalion. And these both sidesers, man. Like, you're allowed to talk about the problems with the Taliban, and also you're allowed to condemn the illegal invasion of the country that the Taliban is in. I don't know why that's somehow... I don't know how Russia's invasion of Ukraine broke these motherfuckers' minds. You're allowed to criticize certain actions by groups like Hamas without saying that Palestine should be destroyed? Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? That's a good point from the Wasting Times. Russia has been propping up separatists for 8 years. Ukraine military was unable to be deployed due to constitutional situation of the 2014 revolution. Nationalist militias took up tasks to repel Russia. That's another good point, is that Russia has been significantly putting arms and funding into these conflicts in the Donbass region. So again, to say that it's just Ukraine just killing people that want to leave Russia, that is, again, an oversimplified view that relies on you being a dumb fuck that believes in a binary world where there's only good and only evil, and you have to pick one. I understand why Ukraine felt it was necessary to implement or absorb the Azov Battalion, a neo-Nazi regiment, into the National Guard to provide them more, like, coordination, communication, statistical stuff, weapons and all that. I understand that. I wish that wasn't the case. I'd prefer if that wasn't the case. That doesn't change history. That doesn't change the world. My preferences do not change the world. I'm not going to advocate, both sides suck, bruh, because 2% of the National Guard of one country is made of Nazis. Now, again, just to repeat myself, Russia has contracted neo-Nazi mercenaries in places like in Syria, right, for many, many years. Russia has invaded other countries, right, committed war crimes, like in Georgia, for example, for a while. So the idea that it's like only Ukraine has a Nazi problem, you have to be stupid to believe that. You have to be dumb. You have to be a dumbass. Like, there's no scenario where you can believe that the world is either pretty and perfect or evil and disgusting, and there's no in between. You have to be a dumbass. And I'm sorry, and I know. And I'm not trying to lump together the Jackson Hinkles with the, people that aren't Jackson Hinkle that may have these weird oddball Ukraine takes. My ultimate goal is to convince you that you're stupid and that you should stop being stupid. But again, if this triggers you, if me getting triggered triggers you and you want to leave an angry comment or you want to say blah, blah, blah on my Discord server, fucking feel free. But my God, this both sides garbage. And the Taliban sucks, so, U.S. invading Afghanistan, whatever, man. Both sides suck, bruh! Both sides! Anyway, now that I've cleaned that up, I guarantee you, though, people are going to see the title of that video, and they're going to cry and whine without watching a single goddamn second. They're going to leave novels in the comment section, and they're going to be really fucking epic mad. And they're not going to watch a single fucking second of that video, and they're going to pretend I'm pro-Nazi because they're fucking stupid. And I'm sick of that shit. And they're like, we could talk about NATO as well, whatever. Yes, NATO probably shouldn't exist. Probably should have been disbanded when the Soviet Union fell. But guess what? It wasn't. It wasn't. NATO expanded. That's the world we live in. So, unless you want to build a fucking time machine... all right, let's talk about NATO. I'm gonna add this onto the segment. Yes, NATO fucking sucks. NATO shouldn't have expanded. But guess what? It did. So unless you want to fucking build a goddamn time machine and go back in time and dismantle NATO in 1991 or whatever, shut the fuck up. NATO being garbage does not mean that Russia's invasion of Ukraine is somehow morally justified. And also, there is no reason to believe that Russia, and Vladimir Putin specifically, assuming he has power in Russia, there's no reason to believe he wouldn't have invaded Ukraine or other post-Soviet states if, let's say, NATO did disband in 1991 or 2 or 3 or 4, whenever. Let's say they did. There's no reason to believe that Russia wouldn't continue to aggress and try to tackle post-Soviet states. Because again, in Putin's own fucking speech, in his fucking words, he says that the Soviet Union was mostly Russia. Russia takes full credit for the Soviet Union's successes. They built up these countries like Ukraine, and now they want, and then they want to go to the West. How dare they? I don't know, man. Maybe the covered up history of the significant atrocities of the fucking Soviet Union in these fucking Soviet states that are no longer part of Russia, that are no longer part of the Soviet Union. Maybe that's why they don't want to be a part of Russia. So the idea that, like, and again, Putin says we built them up, and now they should now they're going to the West. They belong to us. We want their country back. This is our country. We built them up. That's not how shit fucking works. You don't give someone a gift and then 30 years later say, I want it back. That's like if someone gives up their baby for adoption when their baby is like 3 months old, and then that baby, right, gets adopted by a loving family, and then that baby is like 19 years old, and then, like, you know, the biological mom comes around and says, oh, I want to take full credit. That's all me. I'm sorry. And yes, fucking fuck NATO. But guess what? We don't have a time machine. So, what are you going to do about it? NATO fucking sucking dick does not mean that Ukrainian civilians and children deserve to be murdered. At all. So, there's so much fucking doo-doo brain garbage going on around this fucking subject. And I'm sick of it because, again, so many fucking people have sent me really fucking disgusting comments and have said some really stupid fucking things about me because I support Ukrainian civilians' right to self-defense. Civilians don't deserve to be murdered because of the United States having NATO aggression or expansion on their brain in 2008. So that means, I don't really care if civilians in Ukraine get murdered, man. Putin is a fucking psychopath. Putin is fucking crazy. Now, you can argue that a lot of world leaders are crazy, and I agree. But Putin is fucking nuts. Anyway, I think that's everything I want to say on the subject. But I'm sure I'm going to get some really dumb fuck comments. And I'm sure I'm going to get triggered again. And I'm sure I'm going to mention it again. But anyway,